President Biden is now talking about those classified documents found in a former private office he used after leaving the Obama White House. Two sources telling NBC News less than a dozen documents with classified markings were found. And here's what the president said earlier tonight about that very subject during a summit in Mexico City.
People know I take classified documents and classified information seriously. When my lawyers were clearing out my office at the University of Pennsylvania, they set up an office for me, secure office in the Capitol. The 4 years after being vice president, I was a professor at Penn. They found some documents in a box in a locked cabinet, or at least a closet. And as soon as they did, they realized there were several classified documents in that box. And they did what they should have done. They immediately called the archives, turned them over to the archives, and I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office. But I don't know what's in the documents. My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were. I've turned over the boxes. They've turned over the boxes to the archives, and we're cooperating fully with the review, and which I hope will be finished soon, and there'll be more detail at that time.
Cooperating fully. He said it twice. Our own Kristen Welker has more on why this case is different than the documents case and that situation that was found at Mar-a-Lago.
While the two cases share similarities, the White House notes key differences, including that the Biden documents were not the subject of an archives request and that once they were discovered, they were quickly turned over.
In response, the House Oversight Committee, now led by Kentucky Republican James Comer, told the White House today it is investigating those documents. And House Republicans have made it clear they plan to spend a lot of time investigating the Biden administration on a lot of topics. Also today, on a party line vote, the House approved the creation of the so-called Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government. Its main focus will be to investigate federal law enforcement. The panel is expected to be led by Ohio Republican Jim Jordan. He, of course, is a very loyal Trump ally who is also set to chair the Judiciary Committee. Meanwhile, Donald Trump's longtime chief financial officer started serving time behind bars today. Allen Weisselberg was sentenced to 5 months for his role in a tax fraud scheme involving the Trump Organization, where he worked for decades. Tonight, he is in New York's notorious Rikers Island jail. Just think about that. Donald Trump's longtime chief financial officer, who worked in the Trump Organization for decades, is now serving time on Rikers Island for a tax fraud scheme working for Trump. Earlier today, Weisselberg's lawyer told the media this after his sentencing.
He deeply regrets the lapse in judgment that resulted in his conviction. Mr. Weisselberg also regrets the harm his actions have caused to the Trump Organization and members of the Trump family. He is grateful to them for their continued support throughout this difficult chapter of his life.